Hi everyone, it's Nisha, welcome back. So today I have for you almost full face of drugstore makeup. Most of these things are, some of these things are new on the market, some are just new to me. So the first thing I've got is the Makeup Revolution foundation stick. I don't usually use foundation sticks. The only one I've ever used was the Tom Ford foundation stick, which is beautiful, but it has a beautiful price tag attached to it. Is I think it's over £60. Well, this is £5. Mine is in color F10, which is for medium skin with golden undertones. So let's use that. Oh, that is really good color for me. Can you see? Almost disappears into my face. Well done, because I've ordered this online. Whenever I go to Superdrug, they are always sold out of whatever I want. So I order it from straight from the Revolution Beauty website. I'm going to use my Artis brush. Okay, so it feels very creamy and quite thick, like my brush doesn't glide over it. I don't think sponges are good for stick foundations, but it blends really nicely. Oh my god, this is like perfect color. You can't really see the difference. I'm well chuffed. I've got no primer at all, just my skincare under it. I would say that I wouldn't need another layer of it. It's got very good medium coverage. Let me zoom you in. I think it looks really nice. It's a bit luminous. It's not very matte. Shall I try to do a bit more just to see? So I'm going to try this brush, the It Cosmetics brush. Yeah, that does the job too. Do you know, from what I remember, this doesn't look any worse than the Tom Ford. It's really pretty foundation. I like it and the color is perfect. I will come back after a few hours and we will check how all these products work. Now, this is obviously not new. The Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser for eye, and mine is in light. I used to love this concealer. Yes, so I thought I buy this concealer again because I remember loving it for ages. It is not as it's creamy, but it's quite thin. I can't remember what the coverage is like with this concealer. Yeah, it is not full coverage, it's quite light. But I think this concealer is quite good to build up. It doesn't really look cakey from what I remember. Okay, as usual, I don't have any powders, drugstore powders. I'm just going to use the Jeffree Star powder for under my eyes. And I almost feel like this foundation doesn't need setting, but I might set it just tiny bit. Okay, now I need to do my brows, but I'll probably do them off camera or speed it up because it's a long process. I've bought 2 new eyebrow pencils and they are from Max Factor. And I got, what is it called? Ultra Fine Shape Fill Define. And I bought 2, one in brown and one in deep brown. So yeah, it's one of those microfine tips which I like. I'm going to prep my brows first with Charlotte's Legendary Brow. Okay, really like these. Maybe I didn't need the dark brown. The brown would be okay, and maybe lighter one for the front. But you know, drugstore eyebrow pencils usually don't come in a big variety of colors, but the actual tip is really, really nice and fine. I've got no problem with these. The next thing, which is new, is the Makeup Revolution Sculpt and Glow, and mine is in Desert Sky. They come in 3 different tones, so I think this one might be like a, don't know if this is the lightest or the middle one. And I think that they're trying to copy the Charlotte Tilbury's the Superstar Bronzer and Highlighter. This costs £8. So let's try that. I quite like the tone of this bronzer. It's nice and cool. So let's try this. It doesn't transfer that cool, I wouldn't say, on a cheek. It's very nice. It's got nice pigmentation. I'm not mad at it at all. I like it. Okay, the next thing, which is new as well, I've got the Intense Cream to Powder Blusher in Vintage Lace. And they looked lovely on a website. I've already tried them. And they were so glittery, I thought, hell, no way that I can put that on my cheek. But I don't know if you can see, the glitter is mostly overspray. So once you rub that off, there is still some sparkle in it, but not like what you see. So let me swatch them for you. So let me swatch this one. This is like a bubblegum pink, and they have almost duochrome look to them. They are very, very shimmery. I really like this one. I would say that's like a rosewoody color. So I'm swatching them without the overspray. So as you can see, there isn't any sparkle in it, but they have almost that duochrome. And I don't know why they say it's cream to powder, because to me they are powder. So okay, now this one is more of a peachy one. They are very pigmented. And then the last one, it's full on purple, really. I don't think I would use that on my cheeks, but look at that pigmentation. Obviously I'm really going in with my finger with the brush you can pick up much less. So I think I might go with this one. But you know, I've used them on my eyes as eyeshadows, and that's really nice. So I don't regret buying it. It's very pretty. They are very pigmented, so go lightly. Yeah, I don't have any glitter. And then I'm going to use the highlighter from this palette. It is nice, quite subtle, which is good. Yeah, I really like this palette. Okay, for my eyes, I bought another Revolution Beauty, and this is the new collection. They've come out, new Natural or something like that. And this is new Neutral Luxe eyeshadow palette. And this one retails for £12. And I tell you why I bought it, because what that reminds you of. If this is not Huda's new natural palette, then I don't know what is. And I didn't buy the Huda palette because I love Huda Beauty eyeshadows, but I didn't buy that palette because to me that palette, it's quite expensive and it was too much of a one tone, like looked very pink. If it had some mixtures of other colors, maybe I would have bought it. But when I saw this one that is so similar, I thought I will try it and see if I like it enough, those tones. But I think this palette's got few more browns in here, which Huda doesn't. But as you can see, it's very, very similar. I am not too keen on this. I don't know obviously what they are like in Huda Beauty palette, but I think these you have to use with some sort of primer. This one's got base here as well, like the Huda Beauty, and it only has 3 of these what does Huda Beauty call it, mixed metals or something like that, mixed shimmers, something like that. In her palette I know they are beautiful. These ones are not as intense, but let's try it. So we will do some look. I suppose I have to do it pinkish because that's what there is. Or shall I use that base as well, as she has this base? I never use base, you know, eyeshadow base, you know that. I only use concealer and I powder it. Well, this feels quite good. It's very light. Okay, so I'm going to use Karma, and that's matte eyeshadow. Pretty color. The pigmentation is okay, it's buildable. I know I don't have Huda Beauty, that palette, but I have other Huda Beauty palettes and they are definitely much more pigmented. But it blends out really nicely. It's very smooth. It looks really, really nice and it blends out quite nicely. But yeah, you have to build it up definitely. But you know, sometimes that's better. I always say sometimes I prefer things that need building up because you're less likely to make a mistake. Let's use Zoned now on my outer corner. Yeah, this one looks very dark in a palette, so I would expect to get, you know, on a first dip, really good payoff, but you don't. This one is actually very similar to Karma, it's just darker. But again, can you see if I just lay it the first time down, is not that pigmented, but again, very buildable, and they don't look patchy or anything. It's really nice. I quite like this color, which is called Shadow, and it is like a greyish brown, really nice shadow. Then Hidden, that's beautiful, that is very shimmery. Let's try this shadow here. Yeah, that's nice. I think I will take Delight, which is peachy color, and I will blend out the top with this. It's very skin color, you know, but it's quite good for blending out. You know, I wonder if it's this base that makes them look better. I should have done one eye without the base, but they apply so smoothly. So far, these are all matte eyeshadows. I really like it. I think on my lid I'm going to put the Jazz It Up. Let's try first with a brush. Okay, so this one has fallout and definitely needs building up. Let me see if I can intensify it with my finger. Doesn't make that much difference. Yeah, I've had Makeup Revolution shimmery eyeshadows that are much better than this. This one, it's almost now when I'm trying to put more on, I'm taking some off. So, not so happy with that shimmer one. Oh, let me swatch these two for you. They're really intense glitters. So that's Golden. And then Party. And that's Party. So obviously you couldn't just put it on its own because it just falls everywhere. You have to use some sort of base or glitter glue. I am not a fan of these eyeshadows. I much prefer the foiled, you know, really high shine shadows than those glitters. I'm not into that at all. I think on my bottom lash line I will put the shadow, which is this grayish brown. And let's buff it out with whatever I have left on that brush that I did all the work up here with. I like it. I think it's a lovely palette. You know, if you think that the Huda Beauty is too much, it is a lot of money, then I think this is great alternative if you want that sort of tones from your eyeshadows. Okay, mascara. I don't have I have the Flower Beauty mascara, the Warrior mascara, and I can't remember if I've talked to you about it, but let's try it. I know I've tried it, but I can't remember. This quite wet formula, so I even wiped the excess product on a tube because it looked like it had quite a lot of product on it. Once you've done that, it's not too bad. It's a nice mascara, but I think if you keep building it up, yeah, it starts clumping because it is very wet formula, and I think it's going to be challenging here on the bottom lashes because it clumps them straight away. They've also came out with few lipsticks in this new neutral collection, and these are Satin Matte lipsticks. Mine is in Stripped. I think this is the lightest one. Beautiful packaging, and look at the tube. So they really have gone to town with it, and that's the color, my color. It's like a mauvey, dusky. I swatch it for you. It's beautiful. I love this color. I don't have any lip liner, so I thought I used the lip liner from Primark, and this one is in Peony. Let's use this lipstick. It goes on really nicely. Really, I don't know how to explain it. It's creamy but dry. It is definitely satin matte. Pretty. It doesn't feel drying. It's very weird texture. It's so difficult to explain. It appears matte, but feels creamy. It's really nice lipstick. I like it. Let me just go and do something with my terrible hair. Look at the roots on it. I'm having it done soon, and I will come back and we will talk a bit more about all these products. Okay, this is the best I could do with this hair. Yesterday I curled it. You know, you've seen the tutorial of me curling my hair, and that's what it looks like today. So I've just put it up anyhow. Okay, so I'm looking at the foundation now, and I can see it becoming a bit glowy. So straight away I would say it might not be good for oily skin. Can you see my forehead is quite glowy. I didn't powder it much. I will powder it now a bit more. But it definitely becomes glowy. So it's not matte foundation and not one that will keep you matte all day. I actually haven't read what they claim. I quite like that though, providing that throughout the day it doesn't get really greasy. So remember, I've powdered it a bit more, but the coverage, the color, I'm so happy with the color, and it looks really, really pretty. So I'm quite happy with that stick foundation, but like I said, we will see what it looks like a few hours later. Now, really, really like this palette. I think it's really pretty. I might even get the one that is a bit darker as well. The eyeshadow palette, as you saw, for the price, I really, it's got even big mirror here. I can't complain. It's very pretty looking, I mean, honestly, it just looks like any high-end palette. Yeah, obviously you're not going to get the same quality of eyeshadows for the price. That's just, but to be honest, I can use it no problem. I am quite happy. The shimmers, I'm not that happy with the shimmers. These two, these are okay because these two, I can't remember what Huda Beauty calls these special shimmers in her palette, and these I'm not keen on from any company, you know, from any brand, so I'm not bothered about these, but it's a really, really nice palette, and you know, very good looking one too. This palette, I would probably never buy it again. Like I said, it scared me at first because of that overspray. Thankfully, it is only overspray. But again, I really like these two blushes, and you can use them as eyeshadows as well. This, yeah, I do like, but I like these, I remember now, more for highlighting. So I would probably put first on a bit more of a full coverage concealer and then like highlight with this more. But I've always liked the Maybelline concealer. Really love the lipstick. It still feels really creamy, but it looks matte. So I really like the lipstick. The mascara, it's okay, not my favorite. Yeah, so all in all, I'm pretty happy with this look. I will come back really quickly because I think this video is quite long. I will come back very quickly later on to see if those eyeshadows stayed on and how the foundation looks. So I see you a bit later. Okay, so I am back. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's the usual. It's been a few hours. I also been outside with Louis and it's quite humid. So let's have a look. First thing, you can tell the lipstick has worn off almost completely. I would say I've got a bit of a stain from it. So I suppose it's not going to be like liquid matte lipstick that stays on most of the day, and that's probably because it was quite creamy, but I still really like this lipstick. Now the foundation looks gorgeous. Love the foundation. It hasn't gone any more dewy. You know, I've powdered a bit, so I would advise to powder that foundation straight after you've applied it, because once I've powdered it, I did it with Jeffree Star's powder. I like the finish of it. It's not matte, it's not very dewy, it's just quite natural looking. And the eyeshadows, apart from, you know, the shimmery eyeshadow that didn't have such good color payoff, has dropped on my cheeks. I can see it here, especially that one. But they look perfect. Let me zoom you in. Can you see the eyeshadows haven't gone patchy or anything? They look really, really nice. I am quite impressed, even though the shimmers are not so good. But I feel like those mattes, although not so pigmented, are not patchy. Really nice. Let me turn this down a bit. There. And the foundation looks really nice. Cheek color is still on, everything is on, so everything stayed on really, really nicely. So all in all, for the price, I am really happy with those products and I would recommend them to you. Maybe if you've got very oily skin, maybe you should stay away from the foundation, but apart from that, I'm pretty happy. Okay, my lovelies, I know this video is so long. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and stay fabulous. Bye.